Alright. Hello, 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 acolytes. Welcome to the Wyvern Chronicles. I'm your host, Sarah of the South Wind. We got pretty interesting crop this week. So we're going to start off with shows. Um, so we got a couple of animes this time. I try not to do just anime because I don't want this to just be an anime podcast. um, but there honestly weren't anything really. There weren't very many live action shows that I'm really interested in, or that anybody else would be interested in for that matter. Um, so that being said, let's. Where is it? Um, so here we go. First up we have Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is one of the few recent animes that I actually like. I watched the first couple of the seasons. So this is for season 4, I believe. So let's watch trailer. So yeah, again, this is one of the few anime that hits all the marks for me. It's got fantastic art and animation. That's obvious for anybody who's watched the show. It's got a surprisingly deep story. Um, it's got infinite character depth and infinite room for character development. Um, Um, if I have any knocks on it though, it's the unnecessary use of the CGI, which I feel like a lot of anime have kind of fallen into the trap of. I'm not a big fan of combining mediums, except where it's necessary for like if you have to do scenes or do environments CGI, I can understand that. But then when it becomes half the art, half the medium, just do one or the other. Just do one or the other. There's no point in having so much CGI in an otherwise 2D show. Just make one or the other. Um, But as a whole, it's a really solid. It's a really solid season. I have not seen any of the season yet. I am gonna make an attempt to. And of course, my biggest knock is that it's carried by Crunchyroll. And I mentioned it before, but one of the VAs just revealed that Crunchyroll was taking his fan mail and giving it to their staff, which I'm pretty sure is illegal, not just unethical. Um, so as a company, I just can't support anything involving Crunchyroll. But as a show, it is absolutely worth it. It is absolutely worth it. So I'm giving that a thumbs up. Yeah, you won't find for recent anime. I don't think you can find anything that's much more. I don't want to say it's flawless. I mean, it's got its own knocks, but this it's about as complete as you could get. So next up is Frieren. I've been hearing a lot about this one. I've actually not seen a lot about this, so let's watch the trailer.
こたびはよくぞ魔王を打ち倒した。これで世界に平和な時代が訪れよ
う。僕たちの冒険はこれで終わりだ。
終わってしまったな。10年ですか。いろいろなことがありましたね。
たった10年の冒険だよ。
50年も100年も彼女にとっては些細なものなのかもしれませんね。
魔王を倒したからといって終わりじゃない。この先の人生の方が長いんだ。フリーレン、君のこの先の人生は僕たちには想像もできないほど長いものになるんだろうね。僕は君たちと冒険ができてよかった。
人間の寿命は短いって分かっていたのに。
あなたはやはり優しい子です。
僕の故郷の花でね。
なんでもっと
とても美しいんだ。
知ろうと思わなかったんだろ
う。フリーレン、いつか君に見せてあげたい。
それじゃあ行こうか。
So yeah, again, I've only heard a little bit about this one. I have not actually watched any of it. I've seen some clips from it. It looks like an interesting piece. So it's by Madhouse. Madhouse always does great adaptations, so it's got an engaging story from what I've read of it. I've read a couple chapters of the manga, so take that what you will. It's got some relatable characters. Um, but I do feel like it's got some somewhat confusing plot points. Like some of the concepts in the story don't. I feel like they weren't very well fleshed out. Um, but it's great overall. And of course, the big knock is by Crunchyroll again. Crunchyroll pretty much has the market on. I think the anime market in the US is pretty much split between Crunchyroll and Viz. Um, but if I have to pick between the two, I'd rather just stick with Viz. I don't know much about their business practices, so I can't say one way for another if they're particularly ethical. Um, but it's pretty much split between them, Crunchyroll, and uh, Sentai. But Sentai does a lot of the more obscure anime, so it's pretty much a grab bag as far as they go. But for the big properties, it's pretty much split between Viz and Crunchyroll, which I kind of don't like. I kind of don't like companies that monopolize media like that. And of course, as I just mentioned, they got some really questionable business practices. So yeah, as a show, I will give that points. I'm gonna give that a thumbs up for the show. But if you get it anywhere else, do it. Don't get a subscription or anything else like that. It's not gonna be worth the money. So that being said, we will move on to oh no. Oh, get down out of the way. And we'll go into movies. Um, there's not too many interesting movies this time. This is the one that I'm kind of interested in seeing, but unfortunately it's not available in my anywhere near me. It was a limited release, so this is Overlord, the Sacred Kingdom. I think it's the first movie from Overlord. Let's see what this is. Let's watch the trailer.
我らは聖王女様に仕える騎士だ。皆胸を張れ、旗を掲げよう。ようこそ聖王国の皆様。
これがアインズール・ゴン魔導国か。
悪魔とアンデッド、どちらが滅びようと我々には損害がない。違うか。天使を突撃させなさい。これ以上民を一人たりとも傷つけてはなりません。
強ければ何をしても構わない。
役立たず。
これが魔導
邪悪なアンデッド。
アインズールコン。
ああ、なんと素晴らしいのでしょうか。魔導は死んだ。
So yeah, um, I've watched a couple episodes of the show. It's kind of average. It's your standard isekai, I think. Um, it it doesn't really have a whole lot of depth as far as the show goes, but it's got a great story. Um, it's got good visual effects, and there's some room for character development. But of course, within the confines of a 2 hour movie, um, I think my only knock, as I said, my only real knock on it is that it had a limited release. So because though it's not available anywhere I am, I have not been able to watch it. So I'll probably have to wait for it to come out on DVD or something. So this is just as far as the what I'm seeing from the trailer. Um, and again, it fits well within the show, the confines of the show. Um, so I think I'm gonna give this a soft thumbs up. As a movie, I'm like I said, the show itself is pretty average. It's your standard isekai, um, which kind of falls into the same formula of being really predictable and having characters that just aren't very well written at all. Um, but for but as far as the movie goes, it is actually pretty solid, which is why I'm giving it a soft thumbs up. Um, until I actually watch the movie. This is all I have to go on. So yeah, for now it's gonna be a soft thumbs up until I actually watch the movie. So next one up. Uh, this is one that I almost regret even picking. It's Apex Predators 2, which I didn't even know there was one. I didn't know there was a first one. But it's live action, so let's watch the trailer.
In this breaking news update, 2 more badly mutilated bodies have been discovered at Long Beach. Local experts believe it to be the work of a rogue shark.
Another victim, this time at Long Beach.
Authorities say the bodies are unrecognizable.
They're human beings, you son of a... You just won't leave things alone.
Oh my god, flying sharks!
Pick up the phone!
Yeah. Again, I almost regret even adding this to the list. I don't know what I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be something interesting. It's a sequel, so I thought it would be something decent, but there is nothing redeemable about this one. Live action adaptations just always seem to miss the mark by a mile. Um, I can't say there's anything really good about this movie. Just from watching this trailer, it's not good. It really isn't. There's nothing redeemable about this movie. There's certainly nothing about this trailer that makes me want to watch this movie. I didn't even know there was a sequel to it. I didn't know that there was one a predecessor. That's why it's a sequel. And now I know why. Because it is absolute trash. So it's gonna be a thumbs way down. Way down. Dude, I want to touch it with a 100-meter pole. It is garbage. So, right along, we'll move on to we'll move on to games. So there are a couple of interesting ones here. This is Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. So yeah, this is a remaster of the. I think this was. I think it originally came out for PS4, right? So this one's
Rated T for teen.
Let me tell you what's out there. Vast reaches of wilderness. Untamed. Majestic. But lethal. It belongs to them. The machines. When they told me to raise you, I didn't ask questions. Always you pushed for answers. Push yourself to the edge. If you hunt these wilds, no matter how skilled you are, no matter how clever, you will become the hunted.
There's a threat to us all. Men in masks, raising up ancient machines. And I've seen their leader.
Kill her!
Aloy, what brings you to Meridian?
We need answers. For enduring.
You can use explosions.
He always does.
Ah! You are a wonder!
the end. Or how it begins, anyway.
There's so much more to discover before the world ends.
Yeah. Um, so I've only seen a little bit of this series. Um, from what I've seen though, it's pretty solid. Pretty solid. Um, since this is the remaster though, so obviously it's got crisper graphics. It's got an immersive story, and the worlds and the environments in this game are massive. So you're not gonna be running out of gameplay anytime soon, even on one playthrough. Um, uh, and gameplay wise, it doesn't look like there's any real difference between this and the original. Um, but if you like that, maybe like sharper graphics, go for it. My biggest knocks on it are that it's only on PlayStation, and again, I'm not a big fan of platform exclusivity because I really feel like that limits how many players can actually play it. Um, it's got a somewhat predictable plot too. Um, and again, it's got a big open world, so you're not gonna be running out of gameplay real quick on one playthrough. But that also means that you're not gonna have as much replay value because once you're done with it, how are you gonna why would you play it again? This is like this is more of a marathon game as opposed to being one that you can play that you come back to over and over again. So it doesn't really lose too much on that part on that front. Um, so that being said, I'll give it a thumbs up for now. I've actually not played any of the Horizon Zero games. I do need to make a point of at least playing a demo of one. Um, the only problem is that it's exclusive to PlayStation. I have a PS4, but the hard drive's cooked, and I just haven't had a chance to fill it up, to replace it. Been kind of busy with a lot of other things. Um, so yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up for now. Though I actually play one of them. It's supposed to be for PC too, but again, I don't really have the space to put it on my computer at the present moment. So I'm gonna finish one of the other games that I'm playing before I decide if I'm gonna do it or not. Last up is Call of Duty Black Ops. So I've actually not played any of the Call of Duty games. The last Call of Duty game that I actually played was World at End, which was a World War II one. But Black Ops is apparently something centered around zombies. So I have one and two. Just I haven't gotten around to playing them. So let's watch it straight.
The Cold War is over.
My guess is that they're planning a spectacle of some kind. Something that'll scare the hell out of people.
Coalition forces launched the operation 2 weeks ago against Saddam Hussein. They're taking out as many strategic targets from the air as possible.
Do it.
Stations weapon free. It's a biological weapon. And they put this in Saddam's hands too?
Isn't that your friend?
The nature of our enemy is unclear now.
We're not alone. They would kill each one of you given the open shot.
Time we had a chat.
Pre-order the Vault Edition now.
Yep. So, like all the other Black Ops games, this is mostly centered around zombies, which, um, from what I've seen of this one, it's got fast-paced combat, which is a staple of the Call of Duty games. It's got some gorgeous graphics, but but those are really the only good things I can really say about it. Um, the biggest knock I have is that it involves real world events. I don't like it when video games include real world events because I feel like that unnecessarily exploits it. Because it's pretty common knowledge that the invasion of Iraq and Afghanistan were actual real world events, and we now know that they were done on totally false pretenses. Um, so I don't like including those events into the plot of this game. Um, because again, it feels like they're exploiting those situations, and most people know the story about both of those events. Um, it's got your typical gameplay mechanics, so there's no real surprises to be had there. And it doesn't really add anything new. It's your standard zombie shooter. Um, it doesn't really separate itself from other games in the genre. So I have to give it a thumbs down just because it makes references to actual real world events. Um, which I don't think is really necessary for this type of game. Um, so I think as a whole, I hope they're gonna stop it at this because at the end of the day, it's your standard. It's just your standard zombie shooter. There's nothing. There's no thrills to be had with it. I'm personally, I'm not really into the Call of Duty games. Um, it's not really my cup of tea. I'm not really a FPS person, so yeah. This is just my 2 cents. You know, I'm not. I don't really like. I'm not a real big fan of zombie shooters either because they're a dime a dozen. There's nothing new to be had. Um. So yeah. Um. And we actually went through that list pretty quickly. Also, I do also need to do. I wanted to add one more to this. Uh, where is it? Stop doing that. Um, um, Mental Fight Girl. Um, I mentioned this last week, but this is one that I'm actually really interested in. I mentioned this on stream, but it's yeah. I might have actually already done this one. Didn't I already do this one last week? Yeah, but it's up to 3 episodes. It's on Max, unfortunately, though. Um, yeah, I've seen real promise with this one. I've already we already watched a little bit of it last week. Um, but I got real hopes for this one. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing this one. I should also mention Has been Hotel is coming up with the next season. So that's one of the ones that I'm really looking forward to. I've been following has been since the beginning. So let's see the one. I need season two. I know they just put out a trailer for it. So let's do that. Which when this drops, I will be doing a full episode on this one. Where is the trailer? It's on Prime, so if you have a Prime subscription, go watch it. It should have gotten an Emmy. It should have gotten at least a nomination. So let's watch the trailer for that.
The time has come. Two larger-than-life legends collide.
John Jones is the heavyweight champion of the world!
Let's begin. I'm gonna make you wish that I stayed gone. Tune on in when I'm done. Your status quo will know its race is run. Oh, this will be fun.
It's season 2, motherfuckers!
Yes, I know it's been a while since someone with style treated hell to a broadcast. Sinners rejoice.
What a dated voice!
Instead of a cloud-chasing, mediocre video podcast.
Come
Is Vox insecure, pursuing a lure? Flitting between this fat and that is nothing working.
Ignore his chirping!
Every day he's got a new format.
You're looking at the future! She's the shit that comes before that!
They say hell can't change. Well, I say let's give them hell and show them how wrong they are. This hotel isn't just my dream. It's a chance for all of us to find something more. Something better.
You really thought you could kill me? I'm back, bitches! I wonder what happened to that bitch Eve anyway.
That motherfucker!
Yeah. So yeah, Has-Been is by far one of my favorite shows to come down the pipe last few years. Again, it came out. It actually came out before Hello Boss, which for web shows that's my number one. But this should have gotten an Emmy, at least an Emmy nomination. So for that, for Has-Been Hotel, I'm giving that a thumbs way up. Go watch it. You would not be disappointed. It's one of the better shows showing on Prime right now. And with that said, that is the end of this episode. So if you have not, please subscribe please subscribe below. Click the bell to be notified of new uploads. New episodes drop every Sunday at noon. And that is the end of this episode. I'm Sir Udis Win, and this has been the Wyvern Chronicles. Goodbye.